In this section, I'll show you a simple example how to use Difflib and how to compare two similar texts. I've prepared two texts for this, text A and text B. Let's have a look at them line by line. Both text A and text B start with an empty line, which means their first card is a new line. I marked the lines with numbers. The first line only shows up in text A, while the second only shows up in text B. They are the first lines of the texts. Line 3 is a common line, both have this line. And line 4 is very similar in the text. They have a huge overlap, but they differ a bit because of the smileys. Our intention is to somehow mark the similarity and mark the differences of the lines. For that, we instantiate the differ class from Difflib and we use the compare method on the list of lines of the text. This way, the differ will compare the text line by line and produce the delta, which contains the information we need. We just have to print delta and the output with differences will show up nicely. At the beginning of the lines, you may see 4 different signs: minus sign, plus sign, question mark, or just white space. The minus sign means a line exists in the first text but doesn't exist in the second. The plus sign means the opposite, a line exists in the second text but doesn't in the first. If there is just white space, it means both texts contain the line at the same place. The question mark marks the so-called intraline difference, which marks the exact difference of characters in two lines. Smileys with D occur only in first text, while with P only in second, so this character change is marked with a caret. And there is an extra part only in text A marked with minus signs, and an extra part only in text B marked with plus signs. Okay, that's quite nice, but fortunately we can produce a much nicer look for our div. That's where HTML div comes in. It's very similar to the differ. We split the text, create a delta from them, and in that case we write it to a file. Let's open up the generated HTML. You see the first text in the left and the second in the right. The colors mark the same things as the signs before. Red exists only in first, green exists only in second, and yellow marks change. For a conclusion, I really recommend you to check the Difflib if you want to compare and diff anything, objects, sequences, or so on. There is a high chance you can use the existing standard library for this kind of problems.